everyone. I am working on a new, very simple quilt called Information. And the idea behind it is to figure out how to use gradations and some fat quarters and whatnot. And with it, I am using the Ultimate Flying Geese tool just to make things a little bit easier. So you can pick the size you want. I've picked what they call size G here. And so it requires me to have one square here of the, we'll call the geese, and 4 squares here of a different size that we need for the sky. And those are listed here. So you cut 1 of these and 4 of these. So what we're going to do next, the next step on this is pretty simple, is we put a line down the middle of each one of these from corner to corner. And once we have that line drawn, that will help us with our placement of our lovely geese on, or backgrounds on the geese. We go from there. Now, because I'm using something thick, I kind of come off the edge a little so that it'll go from corner to corner. But I use a piece of chalk here. Whoops. Helps if I get it all the way across, just so you guys know. Even we kind of make goof ups every so often. Okay, so I'm going to make sure, hello, that he goes like this. Whoops. Straight through. A little bubble there. We'll avoid that on the next one here. So we're going to do this on all 4, which should go pretty quickly. Then what we do is we place these. I will do it on 2 because then we'll take a little break here and I'll show you how we sew these together. All right, so this goes on this one, okay, and on this one should come over a little bit. There we go. My line did not go from corner to corner, so I now know which one to use. So with this, how we do our first piece here is we cut this, we put this one on here, and this one on here, and you can glue them, or you can, you can pin them if you want, to make this easier for you. If you're somebody who likes to pin, if you're not somebody who likes to pin, then don't pin. But what you're going to do is put these together like so. This one's going to go here. This one's going to go here. And what we are going to do at my sewing machine, and then I'll come back and show you what it's done, is you're going to sew down opposite sides here of this drawn line. Okay, so the next step we have here, now that we've sewn this together, and with this, what you're going to do is then cut down this line here. Now you can use your scissors, you can use a rotary cutter, totally up to you. But we're going to cut down this center line here, and you can see you can see my threads here. I used a color that you could see. Normally, I would not use a contrasting thread. Normally, I would use a coordinating thread, you know, black or red, but typically not light blue. But this makes it easy for you to see. Now, what this makes is 2 what we call hearts, like so. So what we're going to do is go over to our ironing board, and we are going to press these here. And I'm going to press the seams toward the black. Okay, now we have 2 of these here. So for each one, then you are going to take and put your 3rd and your 4th squares right here so that it bisects your heart, the V between your hearts, and aligns here with the edges of the cut fabric. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to sew on each side. Okay, now we've sewn again both of these, so there's 2 of them here. And again, we are going to cut on this lovely line. And you're probably wondering, where does the ruler come in? Aside from telling us what to cut these at. Well, that part's coming in just a minute here. So we're going to cut these 2 up here, and I'm going to, again, press the black towards the red so that we have our pretty seams, and then we'll come back and we'll show you what the lovely ruler does. Okay, we're back. Now we have 2 spots on our thing. One says trim 1 and one says trim 2. So we find which one we have here. So mine is G, and I line my G up on my seams. Okay, And then I take this lovely little, see, our little rotary cutter here and trim off those edges. And then I am going to flip it over here where it says trim 2. Okay. And now trim 2 is where you line up your G and H. So there is my trim 2 here. Okay. And my trim 2 comes like this. Okay. And this will give you your proper sizes here. So with this, if I cut correctly here, probably need a new rotary cutter, but this gives you an absolutely perfect flying geese here. So I would strongly suggest, that you take this into consideration when you're making these. Now keep in mind that if you use this, you are making them a little oversized for your blocks here. So you're going to have, you're going to have some extra trimming here. So make sure when you look at this, you're carefully reading on this side what you want your final blocks to be, so that you know what size you're cutting here. So with that, I kind of like being able to use this. It pulls together a really nice looking block with perfect edges. You don't have to worry about anything being overly wonky. The other thing that I will tell you that works really nicely is making sure that you starch your blocks, because if you starch your fabric, because that will help you with a much cleaner cut as you go along. So with that, definitely time to change my blade. You can see how easy it is to clean these up and have absolutely perfect flying geese.